Before I proceed with today's video, I would just like to make one thing very, very clear to the people who say Jikook are fan service and the people who say that they don't meet outside of work, the ones who don't like to use their brains. I'm just making this very clear. If Jikook is fan service, then Taekook is also fan service. So it's either they're both fan service or none is fan service. Because this backward way of thinking has got to come to a stop. You cannot say that one ship is fake for doing one thing and then your ship does the same thing and suddenly they are real. This logic does not logic. And so on this TikTok, we don't go by it. So everything I show is not fan service, it's real and it counts. Whether we saw it on the banks and bombs, whether we saw it on camera or whether we overheard it happen, they're all moments and they're all real and they count. If it will count for your ship, then it's gonna count for ours. Thank you. Have you ever looked at Jikook and wondered, what was the reason? Well, I have. I definitely have. And starting with this video, like, what was the reason? Like, Yumin Cook are on a professional photo shoot. They're working right now. They're in the middle of work. And JK just decides to caress Jimmy's neck and pretends that he's not doing it. Because look at his face. But also, watch Sugar. Sugar. He saw what was happening and he took a double take. He was like, Sugar was me the first time. Like, that's not... No, this is crazy to me because what was the reason? What was the reason, JK? What was the reason? Okay, Jikookers, we need to talk about this moment. Because we absolutely have to stop cropping out J-Hope. I know that because it's a Jikook moment, you only want to focus on Jikook. But when you crop out J-Hope, it's much more satisfying when you live in J-Hope so that people can see the difference. So that people can see who are the friends, like how friendship looks like and how boyfriends look like. Because the way J-Hope reacts is very, very important. This Jikook moment, it's very, very important to leave J-Hope in just so that we can see the difference in reactions. Because the way J-Hope reacts and the way JK reacts are very, very different. Because J-Hope is like, dude, what are you doing? Get your arm out of my pocket. What the fuck? You know? And JK was like, he's like stood there. He was frozen. He didn't know what to do. He's just looking at it. And when Jimmy pulls out the hand of his pocket, JK just straightens in his trouser and he's like, babe, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? Don't do that. Like, you know, their reactions were so completely different. And that is why we have to stop cropping J-Hope out. If you wanna prove Jikook is real, you need to live in J-Hope. In fact, a lot of the time, we have to live in members so that we can see the different reactions. Because their reactions is just... If you want to see the difference between Jikook and other members, this is it. Let's watch that again. Like I said, it's very, very important to distinguish J-Hope's reaction versus JK reaction. That's all I'm saying. But that being said, Jimin, what was the reason? Like, really, what was the reason? Were you trying to like touch the Jankonda in there? Like, is that why JK reacted differently? Because your hand went somewhere you shouldn't have? Like, what was the reason, Jimin? What was the reason?
아니야. 그냥 이렇게 해도 그만해! 갈게요.
Okay, Jimin. I know that Bae isn't listening to you, but did you really have to sit on his face in front of us? Oh, I mean, sit on his head? I mean, it's just as bad. Like, what was the reason, Jimin? What was the reason? I don't even... Okay. We all had to have been asking the same question here, right? Just if you didn't even watch the episodes, like Jimmy is wearing blue, JK is wearing red, so they were not on the same team. So Jimmy scored a goal, and his first instinct is to go hug JK, a member from the opposite team. Like, shouldn't you celebrate with the members of your own team? Like, what was the reason, Jimmy? What was the reason? Does anybody know what the reason was? Because what was the reason?
왜 이렇게 빠졌어요? 저요? 이제
So here, Jimin is like, why have you lost weight? And then he squeezes the junk titties. He's just like, gets right in there. I mean, we already know, Jimin is obsessed with the junk titties. We've seen compilation after compilation. But you're supposed to be checking on his weight. Why is your first instinct to do just for the chesticles? Like, huh? Like the junk titties, like Jimin. Look at his tiny hand over there. What was the reason, Jimin? What was the reason? Like, you just... Why? JK, why are you doing that? Why are you wiggling your tongue and Jimin? Like, were we supposed to see that? What was the reason, JK?
아니 걔가 위에 있는데 나랑 같이 사는 내 말을 전혀 안 듣더라고. 지민아 이거 쏠리 아니 좀 움직여. 야 계속 내가 많이 무서웠어? 아니 얼마나 무서웠어? 많이 무서웠어.
Aunties and even some Jikookers say that JK did not want Jimin to litter. Really? If that's the case, then explain the look on his face, bro. Like, what was the reason, JK? Did he have an eBay account? Did he go sell that tissue up there? Did he, like, sell it to the highest bidder? Like, what was the reason, JK? What was the reason?
생각보다 어떻게 보면 퀄리티가 안 될 수 있을 거라고는 저는 생각을 하는데 체력적으로는 역대로
Look, if JK was somewhere on his own, thrusting like that, I would not have cared. I would not have cared. It's the fact that he's doing it behind Jimin that makes me go, what was the reason? Did you have to thrust like that behind Jimin? Was that necessary, JK? Do you really think that was necessary? What was the reason? I know that Kitty Gang Jimin was crazy, but what was the reason? I mean, I feel like I know the reason because, I mean, he's on his knees and then he does that with his tongue in front of JK. I'm an adult. I know the reason, but I'm still gonna ask Jimin, what was the reason? What was the reason? Quick question to the people who say that Jimin forces JK to do fan service. I know you all saw that. I know you all saw that JK was the one who pulled Jimin by the waist. Like, I know you all saw that. I know you're so, oh my god, the manhandling going on here. I think I know the reason for this one, but still gonna ask JK, what was the reason? Why are you just gonna manhandle Mimi like that? Like, why'd you do that? What was the reason, JK? I want to mention a few things here. JK is talking to Ami. By the way, Ami is supposed to be in front of you, JK. So I don't know why you are addressing Jimin, but okay. JK is telling Ami how his pants tore while he was performing and how embarrassed he was. And then he looks at Jimin and then Jimin does that. What was the reason? What was the reason? Why look at Jimin and why did Jimin do that? Bonus with members wondering, what was the reason?